Hey, Kayak Cliff here. It's a fall day in October, actually October 31st, 2020, Halloween. And I got an orange kayak here. It's got some Halloween accents on it. But I want to talk to you today about the Lifetime Tamarack Pro 103 kayak. And first of all, I want to send a big thank you to the people at Lifetime for sending me this kayak for my unbiased review. And what I'm going to do today, I'm just going to talk about the features of this kayak, and then we're going to take it out on the lake right behind you, right behind the camera, and take it out there and see how it does. I have not had it on the water yet. It shipped to me via LTL freight, came in great. This kayak is going to be available at your big box retailers like Walmart, like Dick's, like Amazon. Not totally confident on all, I know it's going to be at Walmart. One of the things about entry-level kayaks in the past is that they were barren of features. There were not many features in them, very poor seating, just not the highest quality kayaks. And I get asked questions by people all the time. Hey, Kayak Cliff, what kind of kayak should I get? And my first question is, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to fish? Do you want to camp? Do you want to go out on open water? Do you want to go down rivers? But the biggest things that people want to do is just get out of their houses and get out for a couple hours on the water, to cast a line for fishing, to go camping, to just spend time with their family. The big problem that they run into is if you're going to buy kayaks for your whole family, you're shelling out thousands and thousands of dollars that you may not want to shell out. You want to buy a budget-minded kayak, and that's what Lifetime is. And in my opinion, with what I see already, Lifetime just blows the doors off many of the other entry-level kayaks, because this kayak is feature-rich. And let me show you. One thing that's really neat about it is they've put raised seating in. And I had a bungee on there. This is an aluminum frame. I mean, it is super heavy duty. I've had raised seats in professional kayaks before that are the same quality as this. I'm really impressed with the thickness of the seating. I put my magnet on my phone to it, and the magnet on the back of my phone, it doesn't stick. It's aluminum, so it's never going to rust on you. And if you're ever camping, you just put this on the ground, and you have a chair that's automatically in your kayak. So there's a small little gear storage tray here, not a lot of space, but this raised seating gets you up off the kayak. It keeps your bottom dry, and it gives you a much more comfortable paddling experience. And it just goes in like that, and you're done. It has dry storage. So right here, there's a gasket around the lid, and you have a bucket here, and the bucket can be removed like so, but this can hold some of your phone and car keys and things like that. You have a lot of storage up underneath that you can put things like towels or anything that you want to keep dry, but that just closes up. Got a bungee cord that locks it down tight. Another thing that's nice is they have adjustable foot pegs, and these adjustable foot pegs will adjust to your leg length. For me, I'm 6 foot, and I need them all the way out. I think that this would go to 6'2", no problem. 6'3", no problem. You're going to have a little bit more bend in your legs. It has gear tracks built into it. Gear tracks have been reserved for much more higher price models of boats. And to go in the gear track, what comes with this boat? You got the seat, you got the dry storage, but you can use the gear track with the provided rod holder that they have if you're a fisherman. Now, I'm not a fisherman, but a lot of people are, and that's what this boat's made for, one of the things. In the gear track, this actually fits inside here, and you turn the little dial, and you have a place that your rod's going to be secure if you're going to do any trolling. Now, in the back, there's 2 rod holders built in to the hull of the boat to hold rods as well, or an American flag, or whatever you want to put in there. But one of the things I'm going to be using when I'm on the water today is my Ram camera holder. And again, Gear Tracks not only take rod holders, but they take camera gear, boom arms and things like that. So I'm going to be filming with this. You can put cup holders in here. There's all types of gear that you can get to go into the Gear Tracks. Now, one of the other things that comes with the boat, big shout out to Lifetime. I mean, they give you a paddle. So, you know, when you buy your first kayak, you gotta get a life jacket, you gotta get a paddle, you gotta get all the things that you want to take out. One less thing you have to worry about. Now, the kayak is built far better than the paddle is. This is an entry-level paddle. You're going to use it a couple times, and you're probably going to go out and get a more expensive carbon fiber blade or fiberglass shaft paddle with better plastic blades. But this is a great paddle to start off with. You're not pressured to get a new paddle to go with your kayak because it all comes with it. Big plus, and I'm glad the engineers at Lifetime thought of that. Coming up to the bow, you have ample bungee cords, so you can put 2 dry bags here easily, stuffed with your towels and your camping gear and things like that, and put them down, tie them down with the bungee cords. Real thick bungee cords as well. They have positive handles in the bow and the stern of the kayak for carrying the kayak. This is a 31-inch wide kayak, so with that 31 inches comes great stability. The kayak is 57.5 pounds, so it's a little on the heavier side, but not bad, at all. Coming back to the stern of the kayak, you have the same bungee cords as you do in the bow, but here you have a big tank well that you can put your cooler for the day. This is a real tall cooler, but it's big enough where I could lay this cooler down in here and bungee it down, no problem. The other thing I like about the big tank well, if you're not putting a cooler or anything else, one of the things that's near and dear to my heart is when you're out paddling, let's keep our waterways clean. My motto is pick and paddle. So if you want to fill this up with garbage bags, great way to clean the shoreline and a place to put garbage bags to bring them back to keep our environment clean. If you want pick and paddle stickers, they're available, $5 for $10 at the kayakkliff.com website. Check it out. Spread the message around to your fellow paddlers. This is your drain plug. Should you get water down in the hall, sometimes you do, you just need to drain it, leave it open, leave your center hatch open so it'll dry out and not be all funky when you go camping or kayaking the next time. Okay, one of the things on kayaks that's a real simple feature, but not all kayak manufacturers put it in, is a paddle keeper. Because when you stop to take some photography or cast a line or do something where you don't want the paddle in your hands, that's what this is. There's a little groove here, and there's a bungee cord, and that bungee cord wraps around the paddle and keeps it for you so it's not going to fall and float away and you don't have the paddle when you need it. Hey, let's flip the kayak over, look underneath the hood, so to speak, see what we have underneath. I'm real excited to get this out. I've had 10-foot kayaks before that every time you paddle it, the bow or the front of the kayak is like You lose a lot of your paddling efficiency because that's a problem with shorter kayaks, is it doesn't track well. I think I'm going to find, and we'll know when we get out, that this tracks a lot better than other 10-foot kayaks I've paddled in the past. You have a real nice sharp entry point here at the bow of the kayak that looks like it's going to cut through the water a little bit better. But they take this chine or this rail all the way down the hull of the kayak out the back. I think that this is going to serve as a nice tracking rudder to keep this kayak going straight and doing a lot less of this when you're paddling. You have these channels on either side that are going to give stability. It almost is like a catamaran hull. You have a hull here, and a hull here, and these are going to give stability in this 31-inch kayak. And because it's 31 inch, depending on how in shape you are, or whatever, you should be able to stand up in this kayak to do some fishing out of. Most of your stand-up kayaks are going to be 33 inches or wider, but I think it's going to give tremendous stability. Now these holes, these are supposed to be here. These are called scupper holes, and what they do is when you get into a sit-on-top kayak, when you hit waves and things like that, you're going to see water start coming up through the holes. No problem. It's just a self-bailing feature. So if you have a wave that comes over the front, you can completely fill this up with water. It's just going to start draining out like your bathtub with a little circular drain of your water going out. So the scupper holes are good. You can buy scupper plugs to fill them up if you're on calm water in the winter and you don't want any water in your hull or in your cockpit. You can get scupper plugs to put over those. So one of the things I really like about the Tamarack Pro is they put the carrying handles straight up on the top of the gunnels. A lot of times the carrying handles are recessed into the sides, and that's a problem because when you pick it up like this, your knuckles are just driven into the gunnel and you're breaking your knuckles. But the way they've designed it, 57.5 pounds, a lot of sit-on-top kayaks, I can't do this because my knuckles are just buried into the gunnels. So if I pick up the seat separately and the kayak, I can carry it really easily. We're going to go out here in the sun where you can see it better. Again, real easy to manage, and again, once you get down, that's all you have to do to put your seat in. I would call this kayak camping ready, fishing ready, adventure ready. As my buddy Doug says, it's a grab and go kayak. It's 10 foot 3 inches long, 31 inches wide, 57.5 pounds. So again, I'm 6 feet. Actually, I could pull these levers back a little bit more. I think this will go up to a 6 foot 3, 6 foot 4 person, no problem. I'm 185 pounds. My buddy Doug is a little heavier than that. We're going to show you with two of us how this kayak performs. It's got a 300-pound loading capacity. So what that means is if I'm 185, I could load it with 75 pounds of camping gear and go out for the weekend. If I'm 250 pounds, I can put 20 or 30 pounds in and be under that 300-pound load limit. That's real important. Don't exceed the 300-pound load limit. It's going to function perfectly up to that limit, but you don't want to get too close to it, or definitely don't want to go beyond.
Well, that's enough of this on-land review. Let's get it out on the water and see how it performs.
Okay, we're out on the water. Initial impression, when I get in this thing, I don't think I've ever turned a kayak this easily. It's extremely maneuverable. I mean, it just turns on a dime. So, if you're going up rivers, you're going around lots of turns, you want to be able to maneuver, great for that. Let's put it through the paces with some paddling. There's about a 12 mile an hour wind right now, and I'm going into the wind, and it paddles just about like any other 10-foot kayak that I've paddled in the past. Those chines and the V in the hull, I do think that it is tracking better than other 10-foot kayaks that I've paddled. It's a nice ride, and boy, I mean, it is stable. One thing that was nice is getting up to my camera. You know, a lot of kayaks you can't come out of your seat and move forward and still have stability. And even here, sitting in the middle, you know, I can, with this 31-inch width, it's real nice. I think my sit-on-tops I've had in the past have been 28 inches wide. So this is 3 inches wider and considerably more stable than other kayaks that I've had in this size range that were actually narrower. So again, poor tracking, it's just part of being an 8 or a 10-foot boat. But I think they've maximized the amount of performance in terms of tracking that you can get out of a 10-foot boat with this Tamarack Pro 103. It's not going to be a boat that you take out in heavy open water where there's, you know, 1 or 2 foot waves. You're going to be taking water over the bow real easily. But light chop like I'm in right now in protected waters, this is a great boat for that. With kayak, you have 2 types of stability. You have primary stability and secondary stability. Primary stability is when you just get in the kayak and those initial feelings that you get with stability, that's primary stability. Secondary stability is really taking it and leaning it on its edge. And, you know, with this kayak, no problem at all. It's October 31st, the water's cold. I don't want to take it to the extreme right now because I don't want to go in the drink. But my impressions are that secondary stability is excellent as well. The thing with secondary stability, when you take it to its max, boom, it'll go without any warning, it'll flip you over. But, you know, I'm really leaning on this without any problem at all. But one of the things, I wish I would have put my boots on. I'm going to try to keep my feet dry here. If you want to get anything out of the back, if I had boots, I would dangle them in the water. You can sit side saddle. And this boat gives you plenty of stability to sit side saddle and reach and get the beer out of the cooler or whatever you have in the back of the kayak. And then, you know, again, turn around. You know, I mean, look at the stability I have. I'm 185 pounds and it's rock solid.